All right, and I'll share my screen, and we're going to go with, not my screen, sorry, meeting notes. Okay, can you all see my meeting notes page now? Browser window, yep, cool. All right, so I thought we'd start using Confluence and Jira rather than me doing a slide deck and all that sort of stuff. We can use Confluence and Jira for the meetings. I've tagged some of you in this list. Please let me know if you want to be removed. I mean, everybody in the meetup can see who's a member of the meetup and that sort of stuff mostly anyway. But that will send you an email from Confluence. So in meeting notes or anywhere in Confluence, if you tag somebody, it'll send them an email. It'll sort of add them as a watcher to the Confluence page as well. But I wanted to demonstrate the functionality around meeting notes pages. So I'm going to edit this. And if you've got your individual IDs, then you can log in and edit at the same time. And if somebody wants to do that, I'll send out a link on Slack. Let me put that one in here. I'll just put it in the chat window. There a second. So then you can log in and you can actually see each other sort of moving around on the page. So if Ignacio's logged in, for example, I can see where his cursor is, same for Kudzi, etc. Okay, now let me just open up chat. Paste that in. Okay, so for anybody who hasn't got that link already, you can just go here. And you also can click on the edit button up in the top right-hand corner as we go through. So in today's session, I wanted to demonstrate for you quickly Confluence page history. So that's going to be your friend. If you ever make a mistake on a page and you delete something, you go, oh, actually, I want to roll back to another version, you can do that. And to create a sample status report together. So I want to start making these sessions a bit more interactive and get your thoughts on, you know, what would a status page, status report be composed of, for example, and let's build that up together and we can add in macros and formatting and all that sort of stuff. Demonstrating page labels, and we can use page labels in our page properties macro. So I'll explain what that's about, and a page properties report macro. They're two really powerful macros that you can use. And then we can use Confluence macros to build a dashboard as well if we've got time. But these things that we go through, it'll give you food for thought so you can go in and play and try these things out yourselves as well. And for anybody listening to the video that's not in the meeting today, if you want your own Atlassian ID for accessing these sites to have a play yourself, just send me an email and you can get that access. All right, cool. So let's demonstrate page history first. If I go publish here. Up on the top right-hand corner, as soon as Confluence loads for me, we've got a page history menu item. And so it gives you the ability to compare versions if you want to. So if we say version 1 and version 2 to compare, we can see what's changed in between. So green is a line that was added. If I had have removed anything, it'd be highlighted in pink with a line through it. And if I changed the formatting, went from heading 1 to back to text or whatever, that'd be highlighted in blue. And then to get back to the page is a view page link just at the top there.
So Paul, did you select version 2?
I didn't revert. Let's just do that again.
Oh, right.
On page
So
history.
I'm on the page now.
Yeah.
So you just clicked on that little box next to version 2.
Yeah, sorry, the tick box here next
Tick
to
box.
version 2. Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Yep, perfect. So I selected version 2 and version 1.
And all right. Okay.
Yeah, and then you can click on compare selected versions. And imagine if you had, 50 versions of a page, might be a document or a process document or something like that you've got, or software requirements, for example. You can select multiple versions actually if you want to compare, and you can say that one that I did last week, how does that compare to a version that somebody else modified yesterday in my version? So that's a really powerful thing. The other option on this page is that you can restore. So from version 3, so if I wanted to compare version 3 to version 2, and I can see that there was a formatting change. So I went from normal text to green, for example, with these bits. I could actually revert to that page or restore that page if I wanted to. So I'm not going to do that now, but I would do that from the previous one.
Right, you're clicking on restore.
Yeah, that's right. So if I go back to history, that's just iterating through the versions. So if I wanted to go here and I wanted to go back to version 1, please don't do it. Then you could click on restore. You can also delete histories as well. So we had, at a place that I worked before, we used an API to update Confluence data. So you can use a REST API to write to Confluence pages. And that was integrating from different systems. So it was ServiceNow that was updating a Confluence page. And we ended up with a whole heap of histories. So it was hundreds or whatever. So I used that delete just to clean up some of the old history or old versions of the page. So
well, I've added a comment, but can you see it on the screen? It's actually on the page itself, down beneath the table, discussion tab. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Okay, so that would not have been reflected between versions. I was looking for that to be a change.
Yeah, really good point. So the version, so when you're looking at the version history, it's looking at the content of the page itself. Comments are outside of the content. So, and the comments will stay with the version. So, will be independent of the version. So if I edit the page again, your comment will remain. So yeah, that's separate. And really good point. So with comments, I can reply in here. So I can say, hey, I'll tag Ignacio. And you can use emojis and all that sort of stuff. In your comments as well, you can use all the styling. So there's headings and bold, etc. You can add in dates and dividers and status lozenges and all sorts of things. That status there, it's a dumb status, right? It's just kind of like a label. Let's just put one of those in there. If we use status, and I might say all good. That's my status. It's just like a colored label. It doesn't have any functionality or behavior.
Okay, that's pretty neat. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So your comments can be quite powerful there. The other thing that you can do is inline comments. So if I select text in here, now two things from here, because you had a question yesterday about can I create content or Jira content from within Confluence, and you can, perhaps not in the way that you were thinking though. That there are two ways. So there's two things I want to show here. One is commenting, and the other one is creating issues. There are two ways to create issues. You can do a single issue from the text that you select. So if I highlight this text and I go create issue, and this is when you are not editing a page, that you can do this when you're editing a page. I don't think that functionality is there. When you create the issue, you can select what project you want to create it in. So I'm going to say Ancient Circle, and I'm going to create a task. It will automatically use the highlighted text to populate the summary. Oh. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Let me do that again. Create an issue. Right, first demo task from Confluence. And you can see that it has retained the project and the issue type that I selected last. Now if I click on create, it creates the issue. And you can see here it's included a link to that automatically in the Confluence page. So that's an awesome thing. If you imagine if we had action items out of this meeting, after I'd saved it, if I want to create them in Jira and assign them, I'll give it an Ignacio one, and I'll give Jaya another task. Well, only if you ask to be assigned to those, of course. Then yeah, they will automatically be created in Jira and linked back to here. So when we came back and did the next meeting, you can go back and say, right, those action items, where were we up to? And you can do a review. And if you copy this page to be your basis for your next meeting, then automatically all that Jira stuff goes across. So it's awesome. It's got a couple of comments there. Sounds great, like the interactive approach. Could you please zoom your page? Oh, okay. Yeah, good call. Sorry.
And the other thing, Paul, I just went into that goals bulleted list and the second bullet, create a sample status report together. I highlighted that and I
Yeah.
chose the create comment option. So I created a comment and then resolved it. Does the comment get tagged or?
Yes. If you don't resolve it, then it will highlight on the page. So let's do that one
It didn't,
next.
it kind of didn't, all right.
Yeah, because you resolved it, it would have disappeared straight away. So just try it again and I'll refresh the page and I'll just demonstrate that functionality for everybody.
Yeah.
Kudzi, can you see the page okay now, or do you need me to zoom a little bit more?
I can see it now, thank you. Cheers.
Okay, yeah, no stress. Sorry, I didn't say that earlier. Okay, from Nikhil, does it create a new version whenever any changes take place on that page? Yes. So let's just go and look at the version history now. Good question, Nikhil. So version 4. So if I want to compare version 4 to version 3. So it's that Jira macro that is the difference between the two. And you can see it's giving you, or exposing some of the parameters for it. So there's server, server ID, key, etc. So again, pretty handy functionality. Sandeep, I'm logged in using the Meetup user ID. I'm able to access the Jira software instance, but switching to Confluence doesn't load the content on the page. Am I missing anything there? Let's see. So if I go to space settings and I look at permissions, and again, you can play this back in the video slowly later if you wanted to. Okay, so space permissions is something we don't get with the free version. So everybody else can see it though, right? Okay, I'll need to play with that. Everybody else can access this Confluence page, right? Okay.
Yeah, I can. I'm playing with it right now.
Okay.
Yeah. With the Meetup user ID.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, Sandeep, it happened to me before, and all I did was refresh the page, so you might want to try that as well. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you, Kudzi. Sandeep, can you just try refreshing the page again?
Yes, I did that a couple of times. I don't know whether that's the issue with the browser which I'm using. I'm using Microsoft Edge, but I'll give it some time. So no issues. We can proceed. Thank you.
Okay, let me.
Yeah. Just so you know, you're not the only one experiencing it. I had it before, and I did refresh, and just waited a few minutes, and it did show up eventually.
Okay, so okay, let me. Okay, so I can't, the Meetup user, I can't make that a system administrator because then I don't really have any control over who's doing what. But it's Confluence user there, so should be able to see it. Let me play with that after, Sandeep. And perhaps if I give you your own, if you can send me your email address, then I'll give you your own Jira and Confluence user ID. So you can log in directly, and then I'll give you a system admin access as well. Okay.
Paul, just a quick question. So to log in with our user ID, we need to have set up our own password, right? The Meetup user password will not work.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah, so it's your own independent user ID and password. If you've got an Atlassian account elsewhere using that email address, then you won't need to set a password.
Okay.
Otherwise, the welcome email that I sent, or that Atlassian sent, if you've still got that welcome email, if you click on that, it'll prompt you for a password when you first log in. And you can just use a Chrome, I'll get it to set a password for you if you want to do it that way.
Okay, I didn't see a welcome email, but I had to do a forgot can't log in, and then it sent me a password, reset password link.
Oh,
so
it did.
I will try to do with that.
Yeah, awesome. No worries.
Yeah,
Anybody else? Yeah, no problem. Anybody else that's having any trouble logging in, please let me know, and I'll help you out. Okay, so Ignacio's created a comment here, and we can see that highlighted in yellow. So if I click on it, over on the right-hand side, we've got the details of it. So I can like Ignacio's comment because it's awesome. I can provide a reply. So here we go. It's my reply. And then if Ignacio refreshes his page and clicks on that comment, he can see my response. And I can also, either I can resolve the comment, which means it'll disappear off the page, or Ignacio can as well. This is new functionality in the last 12 months or so that Confluence has had added to it. So this is really handy if people are reviewing a page together and you want to give feedback without emails and all that sort of stuff. You can do it this way, and then people can just resolve the issues in the page. Sorry, resolve the comments in the page as they go. So that's really awesome.
Great.
Cool. Now the other way to create Jira issues from a Confluence page. We've got a table here. Let's create another table. And I'm just going to have 2 columns. Just call this one summary and description. Task 1, oops, not 21. Description 1. Two, description 2, and with Jira, with Confluence, you can copy and paste rows as well.
How did you actually create that new table entry? Did you right-click on the first?
Yeah, sorry, I did that a little bit too fast. Okay, sorry. I'm thinking I'm going to get to this other, the macros and stuff, so I've got to rush. But no, I don't need to rush. I should be taking my time. And then sorry if I go a bit too fast. So to create a table, let me step through these. So there's a toolbar up the top of the window here. So we've got styling for the heading size, bold, italics, more formatting like underline, strike through, code, etc., etc.
But the toolbar doesn't exist at the moment. If I look at the page, there's discussion topics. The only toolbar is Confluence, home, recent, spaces, people.
Yep. So what you need to do is edit the page. Top right-hand corner, there's a pencil icon.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it.
So if you want to edit the page now and move down to this table, then I can demonstrate to people the collaboration, so we can see your icon there.
Table shift. Okay. Whoops.
No, that's all right.
I've got it right up the top.
Okay. So I'll just run through the other menu items up here. There's alignment, text color, bulleted lists, numbered lists, action items, links if you want to create a link to a page or somewhere on here or to another Confluence page, files and images, you can mention, emojis, table, that's the one here, and then layouts, so you can do columns in the pages. And I really encourage you all to have a go with this, create a new page after the meetup and try out these different things. And then the next icon there is for inserting a macro. That was the one that we looked at last week. Okay, so when you click on creating a table, it will just create a dummy one with 3 columns and 3 rows in it.
And just press save.
Yeah, or publish, top right corner. Yep. Okay, and then I get this alert, Ignacio's published this page, and it probably, did it give you a warning saying you're going to publish unpublished changes from Paul?
It didn't, because what I had, when I started editing, it gave me a sidebar that says learn the basics. So I ignored that, and the table popped up at the top. Once I added a couple of things, and
oh, there we go.
Yeah, and then I just said publish.
Yeah,
I don't think I noticed any message. I'll try again.
No worries. Yeah. All right. If you can edit the page, and anybody else that's on, you can edit the page as well. And if you move down to, I'm just going to get rid of this table. If you move down to this one that I've got, summary and description, then we should be able to see your icons move down, and you'll just need to click in the table, I think. Yeah. Can you tell me, are you editing now, Ignacio?
I'm not. I just want to see where you were at. So,
yeah, no problem. Just let me know when you've clicked edit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try this invite to edit. So,
clicked edit.
Actually, I'll cancel.
And there's a little flag with P. That must be you, Paul. You're in summary.
Yep. So if I click down here in the table, And up towards the top of the page, we can see now I'm editing. Ignacio's there, and Kudzi's there as well.
Cool.
And in this table, so we can see where Kudzi's clicking. So Kudzi is currently clicking at the end of description 3, now up in that next table, and Ignacio's at the end of task 1. So if I start typing, here's some more detail, and the others do as well. So we can see that real time, right? Yeah. So that's pretty cool functionality. That was only in the last year or two as well that they sort of got this working really smooth like this. So it's been really good. Cool. So now let's demonstrate. Let's demonstrate creating tasks from here. And if I click publish, okay, so I've published the page, but you two can both keep editing, right, which is really cool. So if I select text in here, in this table, and now I click on create issue, we get a couple of options here. So by default, it's just going to do that single task, right, for the text that I've selected. So we've got summary, and it's automatically set that task value. But we can see there's another link above, create multiple issues from table, because it realizes that I'm currently in a table. So we're going to stick with ancient circle, and we're going to stick with tasks again. And we've got some mapping here. So the summary, it's going to use the summary column, and the description, it's going to use the description column. If I had more columns in the table, then I could choose a different description, or a different field to use for the description mapping. And so it's saying the following tasks are going to be created, task 1, 2, 3, and 1 more. Now if I click create, and it should reload the page. And now if I scroll down, and then here are the ones that it's created for me and automatically inserted that link and the status.
So Paul,
yeah.
Sorry, apologies. No. Does the page have to be within edit mode to create issues? Because I can't see the create menu. I can only see the edit menu with the text options, the links, table formatting, etc.
Yeah, yep. So it's actually
to publish it first.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
So it's actually the other way around, which is kind of, it seems counterintuitive that you can sort of insert Jira issues when you're not editing, but that's the way that it works. Yep. So if you publish the page, then you select text in the table, then you can you'll have that option to create the issue. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So this is it's really awesome functionality, and I've used this a lot, or it's been very, very helpful to me in the past. And then we get a warning or an alert down here, new version published. So Ignacio's published. So if I reload now, then I'll see Ignacio's changes as well. Yes. And we can see that the value that it grabbed for task 4 was the published version that I'd grabbed. So the summary is missing some of Ignacio's detail, right? So I published the page, and at that point it had "anda" as the line in here, and then Ignacio's edited some more. So that's just one thing to watch. If you're going to create Jira issues, just make sure that you've finished editing the page, or you can go into this one and update the summary.
What I couldn't see, sorry, Paul, what I couldn't see is, so I'm out of edit, and when I click on the create, when you click on create, what menu do you get?
The create button at the top of the screen?
Yeah, which is I want to create an issue, right?
Okay, so that create button here, yeah, really good point. So at the moment we're in Confluence, not in Jira. Yeah. So the create button that you see here looks exactly the same as the create button in Jira. So if I jump across to Jira, I've got this create button. Yeah. But this will create a page in Confluence, right? Okay. If you want to create a Jira issue, then you select text within this page. So if I select text in here, right, then can you see this pop-up thing here?
Oh, there, of course, as I had before with the comment. Yeah, got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, awesome.
Sorry, Paul.
Yeah.
How did you create that issue within that page? Where did you?
Sure. Yeah. No worries.
If you don't mind repeating us, sorry.
No, not at all. You were busy playing on and editing the page, which is awesome. So if I highlight text in the page, and this is when I've finished publishing, when I highlight text, can you see this pop-up that's come up above? So I can either comment on that text or I can create an issue.
Yeah.
I'm just going to mute my phone. Sorry about that. Okay, and that was on my Bluetooth. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Just want to make sure the phone didn't mess with my Bluetooth. So if I click on create issue here now, okay, then we've got the option to either create multiple issues from the table because we're in a table at the moment, or just create one. Okay. So if I just create one issue, then it doesn't auto-populate the description. But if I click on this link to create multiple issues from the table, then it will automatically map the description column to the description field in my Jira tasks. Okay. All right. And you can see here also, so it's got the Jira key, which is, or identifier, which is ANC 100 in this case. It's got the summary and it's got the status as well, which is really cool. Okay. Any other questions about creating issues from a page? All right, awesome. Okay, so we went through page history, and next part, we just want to create a sample status report together. Okay. And I might just mute. Okay. All right. Okay, so creating sample status report together. I'm going to resolve this comment from Ignacio. Comes up with resolved. The comment's not gone forever. You can see resolve comments at any time. I'll open that in a new page and we can see how. So creating a sample status report. So general configuration, I'm just going to close a couple of windows here. Status reports. So here's a page that I created earlier. We've got a parent page called status reports. I've got nothing in here at the moment, right? I just created a blank page. Beneath it, I've got a couple of templated pages. So I've got a customer interview report template example and a project status template example. And again, you can play around with these. So you can create pages. All you need to do is click create at the top and try out any of these templates that Confluence comes with. When I was looking for status reports or reports, I just filtered on report here. So up in the top right-hand corner, you can refine your search because they've got a lot of templates now. And so these are the options that come up if you type report. If I type status, oops, I might get something different. Business status update and a project status. And if I type project, it gives me a different subset. It's got master project documentation, project poster, etc. So I'd encourage you to go and try that out, right? And ask any questions, play around with the structure of it. You can delete sections, add sections to the pages you create, all that sort of stuff. So I'll get these two, project status template example and a customer interview report. That's the other sample that I created. And this one's got a table at the top. Now we're just after halfway, so I'll demonstrate this part first. And if I go back to our agenda, so demonstrating Confluence page history, we've done that. Creating a sample status report together, we'll do that in a minute. I'll demonstrate page labels. So if I wanted to go into my customer interview report, and down on the bottom right-hand corner, you can see there's this customer interviews label down here. If I want to add another label, so I'm going to create one called status reports. Status, it will search. We can see it hasn't found any other labels called status. So I'm going to create my label of status report. So I click on create. And I'm going to add that label. So you have to create it first and then add. You can see now that there are two labels on this page. I'm going to take off the one for customer interviews. So I click on the X there. And there's a shortcut here. In page view, pressing L also opens this dialog box. Okay. So if I want to modify the labels, I don't have to do it from down the bottom. I can just click L on my keyboard and I'll go straight in there. I wanted to do it that way. Okay, so I've got a label of status report. Why would I want to use the label? Well, I might want to summarize all the pages that have a label of status report into an overarching summary page. And so we'll do that now. We've got a table here and we've got some good data. So there's date of an interview, there's interviewers, customer name, contact information, company name, etc. On a status report, what would we want to have? We might want to have maybe report date as one of our things. And if I'm going to put a date in here, /date, and yep, it's July the 30th. What else might we have to go into a status report? What sort of data would we maybe want to have? Somebody want to call something out there? Maybe a sprint.
Yeah.
So sprint one. Say that again.
Work completed.
Work completed.
Yeah.
Yeah, good one. Let's just leave this one blank at the moment. Okay. And Kudzi, I think you said one as well.
I think, yeah, it was similar to work completed actually.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, Kutsi. I didn't hear you.
No, all good. All right. So we might want to be able to see this data on a summary page, right? The report date, and you could imagine we might want to see rows of each of the reports and our report date, our sprint, and our work completed as maybe a summary in that third column. Okay, so let's just try this for a second. And I might want to include here a page, let's see, so I did / and it's a page properties is the macro that I want. Okay, and I'll explain why in a second. And I'm going to grab this table if I can. I'm just going to highlight that. I'll go Control X. I'm going to paste this into the page properties report, page properties macro, sorry, up in here. And I'll publish this page. Okay. And on this status reports page, so I've just jumped across to the parent page tab. So we can see here the customer interview report template example. That was the page that we were just looking at before. And I'm just in the parent page here, which is status reports. And I'm going to jump around between these tabs a little bit in a minute. And in here, if I want to go page properties report, this gives me a macro. A macro. And so I might want to look for status reports as the label that I want to search for. In the space, so I want to search in the current space. So in Confluence, you could pull pages across every space if you wanted to. So if you're in ANZ, for example, and you wanted to pull together all your status reports across all your different teams without having to move pages around and stuff, you can do that. So Confluence is really powerful when it comes to these macros and labels. We can refine our criteria for where we want to pull stuff from. So we could say, well, we only want status reports from this team, for example. Imagine if we had a space that had several teams with all the different status reports and stuff in it, we might just want to have a subset. So we can say with ancestor of the current page or somewhere else. We can pull it from people who've contributed to the page. So I might want to see just Sandeep's pages or pages that Sandeep has edited, for example. Date created, creator. I won't go through all this stuff, but there's a lot of different criteria, even for example, including text. So I might just want to see pages that mention finance and not others. So this is can be very simple, or it can become very, very powerful. Other options that we've got there. So page properties ID, I've never used that, but I think that's if you want to just include or indicate what page, what our ID is for this page. I've never used that value. Title column heading. By default, it'll give us the page title in here. or we could nominate another column to actually be our page title, or title column heading. So we're just going to stick with the title. Columns to show. So what are the columns that we've got over here, or the rows in our table actually? So we've got report date, sprint, and work completed. So if I want to put in report date, and what were the other ones we had? Report date, sprint,
and work completed.
And work completed. And if I mistype that, it won't bring the columns across. Oh, sorry, I put that in the wrong part. So I'm just going to cut that out of there and put it under columns to show. Just demonstrating to you that I make plenty of mistakes. So title column heading, I'm just going to leave it by the default at the moment. And number of items to display, let's leave that at 30 at the moment. Sort by, let's see, we could sort it by report date. Let's sort it by our sprint. So let's report it by sprint. And yeah, we want to see the comment count, and we want to see the likes count as well. Okay, now if we save that. Okay, that's pretty helpful. Let's reload that page. Oh, you're kidding me. Wow, that's great. Okay, I'm going to close that. Atlassian has let me down. Close that page. I'm going to refresh this page. And I'm going to edit. Oh, you're kidding me. Okay, let's go to, this is hilarious. So if you ever get a bug from Atlassian, from using Confluence or Jira, you could go to your page history. And this one, current, we're obviously getting some issues with that one. So I'm going to go to version 1 and I'm going to restore that. I'll put a comment here, due to Atlassian bug. This is a test of emotional intelligence when you're recording a session that's going to go public and you have blue screen of death effectively. Okay, so now I'm going to edit this. You got to have a sense of humor. Okay, perhaps I'll try again. All right, so Ignacio has just published the version. Sorry, say it again.
You do have to have a sense of humor.
What would a meetup be without any entertainment value? Seriously. Okay.
I just wanted to put some more completed text.
Okay, no worries. All right, so I got that bit. So status report. All right, so this page is working. But if I show my version page history now. All right. So I've now got a couple of different versions. Let's see if any of these will load. You can see I'm opening these up in different tabs, so I've got a bit of a backup plan here. All right, so no, I want to see that version, that's okay. And you can see when I go to looking at a previous version, it will give me a big warning up here to say, you're viewing an old version of the page, and from there you can either compare with the current, restore this version, or view the page history. And I'll try and edit this one. If I get that error, yep. Close that one. So therefore, version 1. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of version 2 and I'm going to try and restore version 1 again. And demonstrating recovering from bugs wasn't what I was intending to show in this meetup, but anyway, there you go, it's a bonus. And does it work? Good, okay. Let's try this again. All right, so page, oops, still got my caps on, page, properties report. All right, so it was status report. I'll go through this a bit quicker now because we're gonna rush through. We're gonna leave it at current space. Column columns to show. So we had report date, sprint and work completed. I'm going to leave it at 30. Just in case the sort by was the source of the error, I'm just going to leave that for now. I'm going to save that one. That's looking better. All right. Then I'm going to publish it. Cool. Okay, so that was what I wanted to demonstrate, was that we have a summary kind of thing here, right? It's automatically pulling the title of the page here. We've got our report date, sprint, etc. Now, if I go back to the customer interview report template, let's make a couple of duplicates here. So I'm going to copy this page, and I'm going to change our title. And in the interest of time, we'll go through this a bit quicker to get to the point that I wanted to show. So here's a new page. Report date, let's make this one last week. And that was our sprint 0. Oh, nice. So user stories tasked up and assigned to teams. Awesome. And let's publish that one. Now, if I go back to here and I refresh the page, this is our parent page. So we should, drum roll, now have 2. Cool. So I've got those 2. Now, something else that we can demonstrate, our work completed, we could either make that a narrative, like we've got at the moment, user stories tasked up and assigned to teams, or imagine that we're looking at the, I've just jumped into Jira here now, right? So we're looking at the ancient sprint, and imagine that we wanted to look at, I'm not sure what data we've got here, so let's do a query. And I want to look at, I'm going to go basic, and it's ancient circle. So if we go ancient circle, and we want to look at resolved resolution date between, and you'll be able to play this video back if you want to watch this slowly again. So we're going to say resolved. Now we had got these 2 different reports, right? So we've got one that was for a sprint 1, and that was report date today, July the 30th. And here's our earlier one, sprint 0, July 23rd. So let's say resolve between the 23rd and today. I'm going to update that. Okay, and there's only one in there. So I might want to change it. Let's switch to JQL for a minute. And I might say, I want to see all issues that were resolved before, say after 2016. Okay, cool. So we've got 18 in there. So our JQL here, and I'm going to put here 23rd. All right, so we've got for our sprint 0, let's imagine it's this one here. Here's a new page. We've got sprint 0. The report date was July the 23rd, and we want to report all work that was completed in the 2 years prior, okay? And this team is really lazy. They've only completed 18 tasks, which is, I can't ever talk to them because that's pretty poor. So we've got our JQL here, project equals ANC, and resolved equals this, etc. So I'm going to copy that JQL, right? I'm going to jump over here. Oh, I know I'm jumping around a lot, but this is our, here's a new page, report date, July the 23rd, sprint, etc. I'm going to create a new subpage underneath this. Just make it a blank page. And we're going to call this a work completed summary. I'll call it detail. And in here, I'm going to insert a Jira macro. Oops, not that one. Sorry, that's an info panel. Jira macro, and I'm going to paste in my JQL. And if anybody's got any questions about this after the meetup, if I'm going too fast, please feel free to message me and I can step you through this again, okay? So if we click on the search, here's our list. And remember from the previous sessions, we've done JQL, and I think it was in the one on Tuesday session, where we were looking at these macros. So display options. Yep, I want to see a table. Maximum issues of 20, that's okay. For here, I just want to see, I would be interested in the resolution because these issues have been, it's work completed. I want to see the issue type. I don't care when it was created. Updated, yeah. No, I'll get rid of the updated. Assignee, reporter, so I'm just going to simplify my data here. We'll get rid of the due date. Status, yeah, maybe. And resolved, here's our resolved date or resolution date. Okay, let's insert that and see what that looks like. Okay, so here's a preview. So we're still editing the page at the moment. So I've got a key, summary, the issue type, status, resolution, resolved. It's pretty wide. Maybe I'll get rid of the summary. So if we go back down to display options and I'll click on the X for summary, and I go insert. Okay, it's a bit better, it's a bit less cluttered. Now I'm going to publish that. Okay. Now if we go back to the parent page, so you can see down here, the page that we just created, because I was in this, here's a new page, it's automatically created this work completed detail page underneath that one. I might want to change the name of this because we're probably going to end up with a few of these work completed details. I'm going to say this is sprint 0, work completed detail. So I'm going to publish that. Now in here, in the parent page, we're going to replace this narrative. And I'm really hoping this works and I don't get another error. I probably need to make my page a bit wider so that I can fit this table in here. So I'm going to go full width. And would I want to see the summary here in this heading all the time, or would I perhaps want to expand it? I'd probably want to expand, right? So I'm going to go expand. I'm not going to worry about a title for the minute. And I want to include. I'm going to include a page. And I think it was my sprint 0, work completed detail. I'm going to save that. Drumroll, I get no, oh, that's weird. Can I copy that and put it in here? Okay, in the old editing experience, you used to be able to embed an included page inside an expand. That's disappointing. So let's see. I've just pasted that a couple of times, so I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to get rid of this macro as well. Lacey, you're not helping me much here. Okay, we'll publish that page for a minute because I want to demonstrate something to you. Okay, so the click to expand didn't work. There is a click to expand macro, and I'll try something different in a moment. We can see that under our work completed heading, we now have these items here. And if I go to status reports and I refresh this page, we should now get, in our summary, this data is automatically pulled through. Now I'm just going to try. I've got my JQL here, haven't I? So on this page, instead of that, I'm going to see if I can insert a Jira macro in the expand instead. I did want to do it as a summary page, but now as a subpage, I could either create a new macro here again, or if I go to my subpage, it's this sprint 0 work completed. If I edit this, I've got my Jira macro here. And I'm going to try Control C. Used to be able to do this in the old editor, so let's see if we can do it. No, we can't. That's handy. Okay, so I'll try this JQL again. Paste that in. And I'm going to change now. What were the columns that I had? I had key, type, status, resolution, and resolved. And I realize, everybody, this is quite fast, right? I got rid of the summary. I had my issue type, status, resolution, and resolved. Okay, so I still can't do it. I think that functionality is coming in the new editor. I'll be really disappointed if they don't do it. This used to be very handy to be able to have an expand with an embedded subpage. So I'm frustrated there. But anyway. Okay. So I'm going to publish that one again. And if I wanted to now do a work completed detail for sprint 1, we can copy this whole page. And I'm going to go sprint 1. And I'm going to edit my Jira macro. And I'm going to change this resolve date. So we can see that it's kept the same columns. So I've copied the page and it's kept the same columns that I'd set before. And I now want to make it greater than, so I'm going to take this date over here from the 23rd. And I'm going to get rid of the equals because I don't want to include some of the items that might have been included in the previous week. So, so I want to bring back issues that were resolved after the 23rd and up to and including the 30th. And I should just get that one. Okay, so I've got one there. I'm going to insert that. And I'm going to publish. So sprint 1. Okay, so the sprint 0 work completed detail, that was the child page of, here's a new page. Sprint 1, I'm going to put that as a child page here. So you can click and drag and drop onto a page. And to me, it's kind of illogical to have sprint 1 sitting above sprint 0 work. So I'm going to collapse these and I'm going to move that up above. And you can see that when I drag, it pushes that page down. Okay. So the highlighted here, one here is the page that we're currently on in the left-hand side. And there's sprint 0 up there. And under the customer interview report, I haven't yet included that page, so I'm going to edit here. And I'll take away this narrative and / include. And it was sprint 1, work completed detail. I'm not going to worry about trying to do the expand this time. Okay, and I'll publish that page. And now if I go back to that status parent page and refresh, then we've got the 2 showing there. As we said in one of the previous sessions, anywhere that you see a link, you can click on that and it will take you to Jira. So if it's just a single one, it will take me straight to that issue. And we can see that it's appended there, source equals Confluence macro. That's for Jira's own use. And anywhere that there's a number of issues, so a summary, I can click on that and that will run a query. All right, so it runs that JQL. And same deal for this one down here, where we've got all of these ones that were the 17 that were completed earlier. If I click on that, So we'll take us to Jira and run that query. And then you can do a bulk update or whatever you want to do. So we're almost at closing time. We had a bit of humor along the way, and a couple of embarrassing moments courtesy of Atlassian, but anyway, it's all good. Any questions before we finish up?
Yeah, Paul, I just wanted to know, as you're creating those different status reports, those days, do they remain in the database? Are they persistent, or do they get overwritten?
Yeah, good point. So the status reports themselves, which are Confluence pages, they are persistent. So if I came back in a week from now, and the thing to be careful with status reports, if something changes, so if you're showing work that's currently in progress and then one of those records or Jira issues gets closed off and you come back in a week's time, the content will change. Really good point. So for a status report, if we went to this one here, for example, and imagine I had some in progress work, then I might want to export this as a PDF and attach it to my status report. So you might want to have a dynamic status report, which is kind of ongoing. And then each time that you need to generate a status report and email it around, you might want to take a screenshot of it. So I'm going to download this PDF.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that you're right, it is dynamic, and as time progresses and statuses change and updates are made, you can't go back to that same status of a week ago because it will have been overwritten and updated. So you're saying the point is take a snapshot, a photo of it, PDF,
Yep.
and store it. And so if anyone wants to have a look at what happened 2 weeks ago, we can then say, here's the evidence, yeah?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So it's not the Confluence page itself that changes, it's the content that we've got within it that's changing as dynamic. Yeah, that's exactly right. And so we can then attach that PDF, choose from downloads, and grab that one, and I'll attach it. I can put a comment, Ignacio's status report, sprint 1. And so it's attached there now. Okay. There's so much more to cover. Maybe what I might do, I'll try this stuff out before I demonstrate it next time, see what the bugs are, so that I can avoid showcasing some issues.
No, listen, it's good to ride the bumps with you as well. I mean, it's yeah, it's evident that this is such a powerful tool, and for continuously being updated and revised. And so, no reflection on you, Paul. Please,
no worries.
Not at all.
All good. Okay, I'm happy to stay on a little bit longer if anybody wants to go through some of the finer detail, and I will or to replay anything that we've gone through so far, and that will be included in the recording as well. So if there's anybody that's got to drop off for a meeting or anything, fear not, you'll be able to see whatever we go through now in the recording, yeah.
Thanks, Paul. I got to go, so I'll leave off now. But thank you again. That was fantastic.
You're very welcome. Ask any questions if you want me to replay anything after hours and whatever, Ignacio, just let me know. If you do it in the Slack channel, he's gone. If you do it in the Slack channel, then everybody can see the questions as well, which is pretty cool. I'll just go through the
Thanks again, Paul. Take care. Appreciate your time.
Thanks,
I want to see you. Take care.
No problem.
See you,
You're very welcome. Okay. See you later.
Yeah. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Paul, Nikhil here.
Hey, how you going?
Good.
Good.
So actually, I had a small question regarding the left, like under the pages. Like when you create a pages to the left-hand side options, does it get created by default, or we can configure those like getting started, meeting notes, status reports before you created all this, like the status template and all these custom reports? So the first 3 tabs.
No worries. Okay, so getting started, that page was there when we created the space by default.
Yeah.
The meeting notes page, this overarching page, it got created when I created the first meeting notes. So
Okay.
the summary page by default, it gets created. And that's using one of those macros, right, that we've just demonstrated to populate all the meeting notes here.
Yeah.
Status reports, I created this page earlier today.
Okay.
So this is our own summary page. And then the child pages that I created beneath that. And yep, so the sprint work, oh, that's funny. Okay.
Yeah, something happened in between.
Okay. It's all right. Okay. So yeah, all of these pages within the status reports page hierarchy, I've created them today.
Okay, so
Yeah.
basically once you create a space, you will get only the getting started page by default. That's it. The rest of the ones that are the created ones.
Yeah, it depends on the template that you're working with. Some of them won't create any pages at all. Like there's an option to create a blank space and have nothing to start with. And there are other templates that will give you, the getting started or others. So the template spaces, they've added a lot more options or different flavors to the template. So I'd encourage you to play around and go nuts, right? You can complete or create spaces and do whatever you like in here. I've got a 2 gig limit, so just be careful of don't upload too many 10 meg files and that sort of stuff. But apart from that, you can try things out. So that's all cool. Was there any other questions about the left-hand side there?
No, that's it. Like that was the only question that I had. Like I was curious to know, like with every page, do we get created by default, or like it's that configurable, or only we can, like once the page is created with that name, we get all the left-hand side. What do you say? I don't know what is that called, but the left side, like shortcuts for that page. Basically.
Oh, this one here. Okay. So is it this one here talking about space shortcuts?
Yeah, like.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
The other ones. Yeah.
Yeah. No worries. So same sort of thing, right? So if we create the meeting notes page, we automatically get a space shortcut to it. Now, if I also go and create a retrospective, let me create a retrospective. Let me click on next. Which team is this for? You can leave that optional, or we could create a team if you wanted to. We create a retro. So this page, because I was currently looking at the status reports page, it's automatically put the retrospective underneath.
That, yeah.
Right. If I publish this, so this is just the retro template. It should, automatically create a retrospective summary page as well. So my retro page, I'm going to click and drag it and drop it on retrospectives. So it's now become a child of retrospectives. And I've got the summary page that it's created. And I've got that space shortcut as well. It'll be the same thing with decision logs. It will automatically create a space shortcut too. And if we say we want a shortcut to this retro, 2020-07-30, on space shortcuts, if I edit that, and I wanted to, now can I put in?
Or we can add the status report shortcut like instead of that, because you don't see that shortcut over there. So
yeah, so let's do that. Okay. So if we add in the status reports as a shortcut, status reports, add the shortcut.
Okay.
And I want to drag that up because it's really important. And I can click on save.
Oh, great.
Okay. So it didn't move this parent page in the tree. It just moved that shortcut when I moved it up, right?
Yeah.
But now if I click on that, well, it's already opened the page. But if I click on meeting notes, it'll take me there. If I click on status reports, it'll take me there. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Thanks, Paul. Thank you. Yeah.
No worries. No, anytime. Any other questions?
No worries. Like all that is done from my side for this session.
No worries. I'll just check with Jaya and Tay, is it, or Ty?
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
See you, Paul. Thank you.
No worries. All right, thanks, Nicole. You can hang around if you like, Nicole, to go through the other questions.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool. Sorry, Ty or Tay?
It's Ty.
Ty, how you going?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. First meetup?
This is the second one. I attended the daily one a few days before.
Ah, awesome.
Yeah.
No worries. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks
I
so
also
much for
sent
joining.
you an email asking for access to the Confluence page because I couldn't log
Okay.
on. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
No worries. Sorry, I hadn't seen that. So that was sent to Paul at Integrity Works, was it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you just put your just privately in the chat, if you just give me your email address in there, then I'll add you in as well. Yeah, just in case I've missed that email. So sorry that I missed that. Jaya, how are you going?
Good. I actually have access to Jira Integrity Works demo instance. And
Awesome.
what is the URL for Confluence, Paul?
So you also can't access Confluence?
Well, I have never been able to access either. And if you give me the maybe demo instance of Confluence or direct URL, I'll try that as well while you're on the call.
Yeah, sure. So I've just pasted in the chat now the link to the status reports page. Could you just try clicking on that and see if you can get in?
Sure.
Okay. And while you're doing that, I might just see. All right.
Yes, I can get into that link.
Great. No problem.
So
All right, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
That's all right. No worries. That's good to hear. So Ty, I'll see how many user IDs I've got left in this instance. So I've set up Integrity Works demo, and there's a limit of 10 people that I can add in the free instance, but I've got another one, Integrity Works demo 1. So I'll see how many people I've got left in this one. And if there's no spots available, then I'll do it in the other instance. So you'll have access. And I've already imported the projects and stuff across. You can, via the Meetup user. So I'm just going to message this in here as well. So it's meetup.user@integrityworks.com.au. And password is getting started 1 with an exclamation mark. Okay, you can use that ID to log in. You won't have admin access though.
Right.
Sorry, yeah, you won't have system admin access. To do that, because I can't control who can log in with that Meetup user
sharing
ID.
same name. I mean,
Yeah. And it could be anybody in the world, right? Because I've shared that user ID and password on LinkedIn. So I just need to be careful about what rights I give that user ID. But for individuals, I can give you system admin access, and then you can try out, permission schemes and all sorts of different things in there. So if you want to see this data, so the examples and things that we've set up, you can use the Meetup user to go through, and you can still edit pages and things. It's just not the system admin access. But I'll give you access if there's enough users left in this one. I'll give you access to this one. Otherwise, it'll be the other instance, which will be missing some of the data. Yeah. Does that sound okay?
Yep, that's okay. Thank you very much for that, Paul.
No worries. All right.
Yep.
Ty and Jaya, any other questions before we finish up?
Not for me. Yeah.
So, Paul, do I have admin access?
Yes. Yeah. So you should see top right hand corner.
Yeah, I thought, and I will play with it, practice with that tonight, and if I have any questions, it's okay to reach you on Slack, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Ty, I'll add you into our Slack channel as well, if you like, so that you can ask any questions and stuff in there too, or message me one-on-one.
Yeah, that would be good. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Thanks very much, guys.
All right. Thank you.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Great,
Yep.
Paul.
See you
Thank
then.
you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. See you.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.